Go ahead. Turn it up. It's the Record Machine Show with your host, Jimmy Howe.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome violinist and singer Joe Deninzon to the program. Joe, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, James?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from today?
I'm home right now. I'm in my studio in the basement.
Yeah, what state's that in?
State of delirium usually. I'm in New Jersey. I live in Dumont, New Jersey.
Oh, wow. I grew up in New Jersey.
What place?
I lived in Richfield Park for like 44 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm in.
Where do you live now?
I'm in North Myrtle Beach in South Carolina.
Okay.
I moved down
Love
here in 2018. Have you ever played here?
Not in Myrtle Beach. I think we have a show coming up in Charleston, I think, with Kansas.
Nice.
Let me look at the date. I have to look at the.
That would be cool. So you lived in New Jersey your whole life?
No. I was born in Russia actually, and I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
That's where I spent most of my formative years. I've been living in the New York, New Jersey area since the late 90s.
Nice. Now, tell me about your musical background. When did you first get involved in music?
I think when I came out of the womb, because my parents are both musicians, and it was always just part of the atmosphere. You know, my mother's a pianist and my father's a classical violinist. Mm-hmm. My dad he wanted a job in the Cleveland Orchestra in 1979. That's why we ended up there. And my mother is a piano teacher, and they both kind of run a music school out of their house. So music was always a big part of my life. And I think I knew from an early age that that's what I wanted to do.
Nice. Now you play violin, mandolin, right? Do you play piano too?
I used to, and I'm not a very good pianist. I play a little bit, but my main instruments are violin, guitar, and mandolin. I also play electric bass too. Nice.
Now, I believe every band or artist is influenced by someone. Who are some of your influences?
It's a huge range of artists. In the rock world, I would say, like Frank Zappa, Mahavishnu Orchestra, King Crimson, Yes, Rush, Led Zeppelin, Eddie Van Halen, and Steve Vai. You know, classical world, Stravinsky, John Corigliano, Gustav Mahler, Shostakovich. You know, in the jazz world, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, John McLaughlin, Pat Metheny, nice. Didier Lockwood. You know, Jean-Luc Ponty. Huge list of people, really. You know, I could sit here all day.
I'm sure.
Talk about it.
Now, your band Stratospheerius. When did you form, and who were the players?
I formed Stratospheerius basically when I moved to New York. I made a CD with some local Cleveland musicians the summer before I moved here to do my master's degree, and it was like a jazz fusion instrumental CD. And I was looking for musicians to perform those songs live. And it eventually kind of morphed into Stratospheerius because I started writing more vocal songs and playing with the formula a little bit and developing my sound. And really the early 2000s is when Stratospheerius kind of became a thing. And it's gone through a lot of personnel changes and the music has evolved, you know. So that's, in a nutshell, that's how it happened. I was experimenting, playing stuff that I wanted to play, writing music that I wanted to write that I didn't hear anybody else doing, and kind of evolved organically that way.
Nice. Now, your latest release, Behind the Curtain, live at ProgStock. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we have our good friends Tom Palmieri and Ann Rinaldi started a progressive rock festival in 2017 called ProgStock. Up until this year, it took place at the Union County Performing Arts Center in Rahway, New Jersey. This year, they moved it to Williams Center in Rutherford. And it's become probably the premier progressive rock festival in the Northeast, if not the entire United States.
Wow.
And we played 4 years in a row from 2018 to 2021. And in 2019 and 21, we played the main stage and headlined and got a really good audio and video recording both of those years. So we decided to put out a live DVD and CD with an hour from each show, highlights from each performance. And it took us a while to put it together, edit it together. And during the pandemic, I spent a lot of time working on it. It's finally came out this past May, and we're very proud of it. It's a 4-disc set. And you could see a lot of the videos on YouTube and stream it on Spotify and get it on Bandcamp too.
Yeah, I listened to both the CDs that I got from Ann, and it's incredible, man. You are awesome. I love how you play and sing at the same time, and all the songs are just killer, man. And one of the songs I really liked is you did a cover of King Crimson's "Frame by Frame." What made you choose that one?
That song always spoke to me, and Adrian Belew's voice is right in my range. I love singing that song. It's a song I wish I had written, and we just for fun decided to play it live a few times, and it just suited us. And I thought having the violin play that low, fast ostinato part that Robert Fripp plays on guitar would give it a new dimension, So we've added it into our set. We also have a studio version that's going to be on our next album as well.
Nice. So, now, this podcast is going to feature two of your tracks, Game of Chicken and The Prism. What's the story behind those two songs?
Game of Chicken is about our polarized social media world that we live in. It's kind of a political song about how, we're all heading towards a cliff because we don't know how to resolve our issues, and we're just fighting each other and ignoring and not listening, just screaming over each other. It's kind of the overriding theme of the song, and it's a showstopper live because there's a big violin and guitar battle at the end.
Yep.
I guess which kind of is symbolic of the subject matter of the song. The Prism is also a political song. It's about corruption. It's got a Led Zeppelin, Kashmir kind of influenced vibe, a little bit of a Middle Eastern vibe, very heavy and epic and proggy, if that's a word. And that's been a staple in our set for many years. It's an audience favorite.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Yeah.
How do you approach songwriting? What's your creative process like?
It varies. I keep. I don't have a lot of time to write these days. I'm a father of two, and I'm touring with Kansas, and I'm doing a lot of different stuff. But the best ideas come to me when I'm waking up in the morning, or I'm in the shower, or I'm going for a run. I'll a melody or a lyrical idea, and it will come into my head, and I document it on my phone or write it down, and then it accumulates. And some songs I just start jamming and coming up with a melody, and then I just weave it from there and find some lyrics that I might have had previously that fit. The best songs that I've written, I didn't really have to labor over. They kind of popped into my brain spontaneously, like someone planted them in my brain. It's a weird thing that happens, that, oh man, I got something good, and it just comes out of nowhere. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, definitely.
And other songs I have to really work on for a long period of time. So The Prism was one that really just, those two you mentioned are the ones that happened very fast. They just popped into my head, and they kind of wrote themselves.
Now, where do you draw inspiration from your lyrics most of the time? Is it current events, personal things? Both
of those things, current events, personal things I'm dealing with, relationships. I like social commentary, and I don't like to get too specific. I like to make things more cryptic in my songs and let people interpret it the way they want to. And that's it. I also keep track of topics I'd like to talk about in future songs. I keep a lot of lists on my phone of things I want to express, and there's a lot to write about these days. That's for sure.
Definitely. Now, do you think that readers and listeners take away different things from the songs than you were originally intended?
Oh, I'm sure of it, and I'm okay with that. I have a specific intent for a song, but somebody might see it in a completely different way, and sometimes they share that with me, and it's pretty mind blowing. What how people interpret music and art. And as a listener myself, I interpret music probably very differently than the person who wrote it intended it to be interpreted, and that's okay.
Yeah,
music's a personal thing.
Yep, everything's open for interpretation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you had mentioned earlier that you're also the violinist for Kansas. How did that come about? I think if I never had Stratospheerius, that opportunity would never have happened, because I was writing a lot of music and putting out videos and songs for years and years and years. And my friend Tom Brislin, who's their keyboardist since 2018, recommended me back in February when
David Ragsdale, the violinist, had some personal issues, and they weren't sure if he could continue touring. And they saw some Stratospheerius videos and loved the music, and it was very much influenced by Kansas, a lot of the songs. And of course, anytime you have violin in a rock band, there's always the Kansas comparison, because they kind of created the template for that. You can't escape it. So I got the call and started working on the music, and that's how it came about. That's
pretty cool. They're around what, 50 years now?
Yeah, we're on our 50th anniversary tour. We're their 50th anniversary tour.
Wow.
I started with them in June, and it's been an amazing experience so far.
Now, are you guys writing any new music, or are you just playing the hits?
Right now, we're playing the hits and a lot of deep cuts spanning the career. Mm-hmm. There has been talk of writing a new album. I don't know when that's going to happen, because their tour keeps getting extended, which is a great thing. So maybe next year, I don't know. But if it does, it'll be a lot of fun to create some music with them. Their last album, I'm a big fan of. Absence of Presence came out in 2020. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I have to check that one out. I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, definitely. Well worth it, I think.
I hear Kansas on the radio all the time, whether it's on an oldie station, a rock station. They're even playing Kansas during wrestling programs now. Did you know that? That
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a big wrestling fan. I mean, I don't dislike it. I just don't follow it. That's pretty cool.
There's a show, All Elite Wrestling. It's on TBS and TNT, and there's I guess a faction called the Elite, and they come out to Carry On Wayward Son every time. Every time they come out, and the place goes crazy.
That's pretty badass. There's a show on Netflix called Supernatural that has used their music a lot. It's like the theme. I think Carry On is the theme for the show, and the soundtrack is filled with Kansas music. But it's appeared in so many movies and shows, and it's big in pop culture to this day. And my kids know Kansas music from TikTok and things like that. And if you talk to somebody in their generation that might not know Kansas, you mention songs like Dust in the Wind and Carry On Wayward Son, they're like, oh yeah, I know that song. And then they realize it's Kansas, So that's pretty cool.
What's your favorite Kansas song?
I would say Song for America.
That's a great one.
Because there's a lot of violin solos, so I'm a little biased. It's a big violin feature, and it's just such an epic, well-written, beautiful song with beautiful message. It's an environmental song. Mm-hmm.
I like Play the Game.
Play the Game is great. I mean, I like all their songs. There's no song I dislike. And the music is challenging, keeps you on your toes for sure. Very intricate, and there's a lot of little details. Each time I hear a Kansas song, I discover more things. Mm-hmm. So even having played a lot of the music for many nights now, I keep discovering new elements to it, which is great. It's a gift that keeps on giving. So.
Yeah. Now, besides Kansas, you've also played violin for The Who, Springsteen, 50 Cent, even Sheryl Crow. What were those experiences like?
Every experience was different. I can, without delving into too much detail, Sheryl Crow was with an orchestra for the album Come On, Come On, way back when I just moved to New York. She was in the studio. She's a perfectionist. She's got like perfect pitch. She was super sweet, very nice, very detailed with her. She knew what she wanted. The Who was with orchestras in New York when they were playing Madison Square Garden and Jones Beach. And my former student, Katie Jacoby, is their touring violinist. So it's fun to see her play Baba O'Reilly every night. And I had known her since she was 14 when she started studying with me. So that's a treat. Springsteen was amazing because I'm a huge fan of Bruce Springsteen. Mm-hmm. Another big influence for me. And to sit behind him and play was really a treat. And that was a lot of these gigs are string section gigs that you end up getting in New York if you're a freelancer. Mm-hmm. And you fall into all kinds of amazing situations. And the Ritchie Blackmore, I think you mentioned that. I'm not sure if you did, but that was a recording on the album Ghost of a Rose. I went out to his house in Long Island and recorded it in his basement studio with Blackmore's Night. the band he has with his wife. And I saw the gold records on the wall from Rainbow and Deep Purple, and that was an amazing experience. He's a very interesting guy.
I'm sure. Now, are you working on any projects right now that you want to talk about?
Well, Stratospheerius just finished our next studio album, 5 years in the making. While we were editing the live one, we were also writing a studio album. And we've released a few singles, but half of it people have not heard yet. And it's epic. We're very excited about it. It's going to be called Imposter. We have a song called Imposter, but the album's going to be called Imposter. And hope to have it out next spring. Working on the cover art right now. Aside from that, there's a bunch of new stuff out that I played on. Dave Kersner is a producer, songwriter, keyboardist, just released an EP called Heartland Minds that I play on. I'm on a new album on a project called Fly to the Sun with Greg Bissonette, Billy Sheehan, and Jennifer Batten. There's a new Renaissance live album that I played on with Annie Haslam on their last tour. I do a lot of side projects, studio work, and such. So there's a trio, a blues trio from India called the R and Joy Trio. They're featured in Rolling Stone, and I arranged strings for them. So a lot of different stuff floating around. I try to keep busy. I love contributing to other people's projects too. So,
and it pays well, right?
Sometimes.
Gotta eat, right?
It's a good way to make a living. Yeah, I love what I do. I really, really do. And I'm grateful. Every day I count my blessings. I'm grateful to get up and do what I'm passionate about.
Awesome. Now, do you have a website that you'd like to promote?
My main website is joedviolin.com. D like dog, joedviolin.com. And through there you can link to all my social media, and my YouTube page. And for the band, it's stratosband.com, STRATOS band.com.
Cool. Now, is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
Man, no. Peace on earth is what I'd like to mention. We live in tough times, so I pray for peace. And music is a healer, and it's a big, I truly believe if everybody could plug in and hit a power chord on the guitar, there would be no war. Yeah. So my message is make music, listen to music, and music has the power to heal the planet. I believe that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, Joe, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. I love this live album, and I'm looking forward to hearing Imposter when it comes out this spring.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on the show. And thanks for playing my music. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Would you be interested in coming back when the album comes out to talk about it?
Absolutely. I would love that.
Awesome. Well, I'll keep in touch with Ann, and we'll set something up this spring, all right?
Sounds great.
All right.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day, all right?
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Just the mirror you're heading for, head-on collision. Lights are taken into mission. Your thoughts play you with indecision. Second guessing your stated mission, but we don't have a part to listen. Put it off till tomorrow. Oh, we're still drowning in sorrow. Oh, break it all and you borrow. Oh, still dry. intuition, or intuition. Put it off till tomorrow. Whoa, we're still drowning in sorrow. Whoa, break it all and you borrow. Whoa, we're still drowning in sorrow. Drowning in sorrow, whoa, break it off and you borrow, whoa, we're still drowning in sorrow, put it off till tomorrow, we're still drowning in sorrow, break it off and you borrow, we're still drowning in sorrow. Thank you.
The Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Howell Productions. All rights reserved. For information regarding distribution or adding this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.
The Record Machine Show.